Welcome everyone to series 2. We are kicking off the series this year. We have got some actors and actresses that we're interviewing, and we're kicking off with a very famous character from, I don't know if you've heard of it, Brassic. And the character we're interviewing today is Jim, who is Steve. And I cannot believe that he's here. So welcome. Thank you, Steve, for joining us today.
No problem. Do you want me to be Jim or Steve?
You can be whoever you want to be.
It's kind of, no, there is a blurred line, but no, I'll be Steve today. But yeah, no, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
You have been in quite a lot of films, and I think you're quite well known for being in Looking in Eric as well. Is that correct?
Looking for Eric.
Looking for Eric, yes.
Yeah.
And, you know, obviously the most recent one is Brassic as Jim. You know, you've got famous quote lines. I'm actually waiting for some branded stuff to come to me at the moment. I ordered it too late to come for Christmas, so
right.
I'll be wearing that for a promo, definitely. So with the series that you've been in recently, Brassic, what was it like getting into character for that?
It's quite easy, really, to get into character for Jim. All I have to do is watch the news, have a look at who's running the country, have a look at some of the inanity that's going about and the absurdity of life, and bingo, I'm just one big angry bastard. So I channel that as best I can through Jim, and it helps with having great scripts and great other characters to bounce off and great teamwork and camaraderie. So some people have psychiatrists. I don't. I go and see Jim and I vent steam and I get paid for it.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah. I found the secret of life there.
What is it like working with some of the characters that are on the show? Does everyone get on? Everyone?
Yeah, it was pretty tight ship. I mean, we were together 7 years over it, so we did kind of get to know each other. The little groups formed. There was the core gang, which did become a core gang, which was great. Jim was kind of on the periphery, but part of it. And some great guest characters came and went, and it was great. It was a great thing for me. It was 7 years of bliss. I loved every minute of it, and everyone did.
Yeah.
You know, there's only so many capers you can do. I think it maybe naturally ran its course. But it was great fun, great characters, great actors, and great crew, production, everything from the exec producers right down to the showrunners, the guy who gets you coffee or the girl who does, you know.
I see you post quite a lot of stuff on your Instagram. You know, is that like you in character, or is that just how you are?
It's kind of a bit of both, really. Some people say I'm not, I just play myself, but I just try and keep it real. And I do post a lot on there. I like doing behind the scenes stuff on Brassic. Everyone's up for a laugh with that, you know. Again, everyone from directors to fellow cast members to wardrobe and makeup, they've all joined in and had a little go on these little behind the scenes videos. Yeah. But there is a lot of Jim in there, yeah, because I don't put an accent. His voice is a bit more raspy than mine. You know, the rasp comes out and but apart from that, I'm just being myself. He walks like me, he talks like me. He's just a bit more of a raspy voice and a bit more attitude and a bit more couldn't give a shit.
Yeah. And obviously with Brassic, it's such a big show nowadays. But back in the early days when you started, kind of, you know, when the show was being created, and when you first kind of sat down and had, you know, the first table read, I'm assuming, what was that like to kind of watch the show kind of come together and build that ensemble performance with the rest of your fellow actors?
Well, it was great. I didn't think it would go 7 years. To be honest, I mean, I went for the audition for it, and as I went in, I was waiting to be seen. There was a guy who came in who was going to be behind me, who looks like a stereotypical farmer, as soon as I saw him, I thought, well, he's got the job, just if you're going on looks alone. But he went with me for some reason. And like I say, I thought if we could get a couple of series out of this, I'll have a laugh with it. But it sort of really did click and gel with the cast. And I think there was just such a good rapport between everyone and a good chemistry. And Joe particularly wanted to do more and more. He wanted to go again and go again. So I think once he got the okay from Joe and he was prepared to invest his time in it, because a lot of it was down to Joe, really. And the production and that were happy to go along with it because everyone was happy. And it did make quite an impact, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you feel that when you're watching it. You all seem to have such a great chemistry on the telly. I feel like just talking to you now, you obviously had a great working relationship with everyone as well. You could have a laugh on set with everyone. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, the work got done.
Eventually.
Well, no, the work got done. We were very professional about it. You've got to be. But also, what's interesting about Brassic, there was room to do a bit of improv in scenes and change some lines. If you didn't think your character would say that word, it was okay to kind of put a bit extra in, or as long as the point of the scene was made so we could move on plot-wise and time-wise, then that was fine. You know, we didn't meander too long. But there was some ad-libs, some great ad-libs when there's a blag going down or some kind of caper, and it just took on a life of its own. And I thought everyone was really good at that, you know.
So how did Brassic kind of compare to any other project that you've done in the past, or even at the same time?
Well, like I said, Brassic was on my doorstep. I got home to my home bed every night. Sent a car to pick me up. I went in, I insulted everyone, called everyone names, put me in a car, they sent me home. Then I go in the pub and I insult everyone and call them names. So it was like a paid hobby to me. But it was nice to get home every night. I've worked on productions, where I've been away in London for months on end, staying in apartments or houses that had been rented. So it was nice to be on home turf. The capers were a bit more madcap. It just had a life of its own, Brassic. It really did. It was unlike anything I'd done, really. And like I say, it was great for me because he wasn't an integral part of the gang, but he had his uses for them. They grew weed under his farm. He'd stolen cars there. He got involved with stuff. So as I say, it was great for me to be on the periphery, come in, cause mayhem, and then go home to my farm and my house.
Yeah.
Did you think that Jim's character was going to be as had so much comedy towards it? Did you think people would love that as much as they did? Because I feel like your character on Brassic has just, even some of your famous lines, I daren't say them, but
I know what you mean.
Yeah, your famous lines. Did you think that Jim would blow up as much as he did, or has?
No, I didn't. But it was great in the writing that there was comedy in there, but there was also a real slice of reality in there as well. And I thought it was important for Jim because he can be such a nasty character. And he is very, he's very larger than life, very opinionated, very in your face, and not scared to speak in his mind. So that can be a massive turn off. So there had to be, it was already a comedy element was in there with the writing. But you had to be able to think of him that he was a bit of an idiot as well. That he shot himself in the foot a lot of times and became the butt of his own jokes. So I thought that was quite important. But then you would get the scenes, monologues, like the disco biscuit scene.
Yeah.
When they want a festival at his farm. As soon as I read that, I knew it was magic.
Yeah.
And it was pure magic. So I tried to, even though it was all there on the page, written by Danny, and it was a masterpiece. I couldn't wait to do it.
Yeah.
So I tried to make it as animated and funny as I could with all the overactions and the festival here and the bit of the dance at the end. just to bring it alive and made it funny. And there's not a day goes by really where somebody doesn't ask me for a disco biscuit or, you know, or call me the C word in the street and all that, or ask me to call them. Not a day. So he's made quite an impact, Farmer Jim, and we can't go anywhere. Me and my girlfriend, we can't go anywhere.
I mean, that happens to me, and I wasn't even in Brassic. But what was your first reaction when you read the script for Brassic, and did you base the character of Jim on anyone you kind of know? Because I know a lot of actors do that.
Well, not really. Joe actually knew this character. It's all based on Joe's life.
Right, yeah.
This farmer existed, but he wasn't called Jim. But reading it on the script, it kind of leapt off the page at you. But like I say, you had to feel a bit sorry for him in a way. He was an idiot, that he was an over-opinionated shithead, if you like. But I didn't really base him on someone I knew. I just decided to take that character and be as large and as animated with it as I could be, just in order to make it funny. It's like a cartoon.
Yeah.
It had to be exaggerated for me and a bit over the top, almost like a Burkoff thing, where there was a movement for more or less every line. You know, festival here, fucking tight, oversized glasses, sunglasses in there. So it was like a bit of a panto and a mime.
Yeah, definitely.
Otherwise, it would have been terrible to just deliver it dead straight.
Yeah.
Boring. And I don't know, people just took Jim to their hearts, and I don't know why to this day. But there you go. No accounting for taste.
Did you ever expect, or did Joe expect Jim to become such a fan favourite?
No, I think it was a bit of a surprise to everyone, because as we went on, they started getting Jim involved a bit more, because they knew it was good for the audience. They liked him. They liked the way he popped in, caused a bit of mayhem, or said something, and then went again. So as it did go on, Jim did get more and more involved in capers, and then we started seeing things of him, like the Bull High Seaman, where he organised that heist, and then we saw a bit of his dating life, you know, with the women in his life, and again, you know, sharing the screen with Lisa Tarbuck, as one of his girlfriends, was fantastic. So it was nice to see that side of Jim's life as well. His relationships with women, and how he messed that up, and it was good to find out things about him in his past.
Yeah.
With Beatrice, Lisa Minnelli, where that story about her son finding them and happening again, it gave you an insight into his behaviour and how he was a bit angry and alone, and how he still was in his head. You felt sorry for him sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's another reason why the audience kind of connected with him so much. So obviously you mentioned that you like to post on your Instagram a little bit of behind the scenes about the making of the show. Are there any stories that the audience or people who've watched the show might not know about behind the scenes on the set that you've never kind of, you know, really spoken about?
Well, just how much hard work goes into the preparation of everything. I mean, it's all right for us actors. We get picked up, we get brought in, as long as we've learnt our lines, we're taken in, costume is ready for us by the costume department, the makeup is done, the props are all there, and the props can be anything from a tractor to a horse, a pig, to a pen. Or a paper clip. It could be anything, no matter how small or large. And then you've got the lighting, and you've got the rigs, and how to reset a scene. You know, if you don't get the take, then it's all got to be reset up again, so it might take half an hour. So there's so much going on that if someone was on set watching it, they'd probably get bored. because it's not like that. And then, of course, everyone sees the edited version and they go, oh, it's great. You were wonderful. You were wonderful. We get all the thanks. We get all the praise. And everyone kind of behind the scenes doesn't really. But that's how it goes. It's just that's how it works. But there's loads of stuff I wouldn't tell you because I'm no grass. But what happens on set stays on set. But I love the whole formula. To me is great. From getting something on the script and reading it to then seeing it completed on TV, seeing it being built, seeing it being lit, seeing it being prepped, seeing it. It's just an amazing feeling to watch words become the finished product and people looking at it and coming back for more and begging for the next series.
Yes,
People like junkies were like, when's it out? When's it out? When's it out? And the day it was out, they binge watch it all. It was all getting dropped at once, and then it was like, and then it was like, when's the next series out?
Yeah,
you need to understand that that's going to take us 6 months to make.
Yeah,
and it's going to be in edit for a few months, and then the music's got to go on it. The credits. It's a big job,
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think, looking ahead for the future, there could be anything else for Jim as a character, or do you think that's it now?
No, I'd like to see Jim again in something. I think there's room for a spin-off for Jim.
Yeah.
I know there's certainly a demand for it.
Yes.
And then he's got his arch enemy, Paslowski.
Yeah.
Brilliantly played by Archie, who I think's amazing. Went to see Archie's live comedy, me and Jen, my girlfriend, about a month ago. So we met up with Archie and his wife and had a drink and watched him do his comedy act. He's great, Archie. So, I think this answers your question. Yeah, I think there's more scope for Jim. You could bring some of the other gang back in, but Paslowski would have to be a staple part of it.
Yeah.
And, the animosity's there between the two of them. There's sparks straight away. They could get up to all sorts of shenanigans and all sorts could happen. Yeah. So who knows? It has been touted about,
Far more is coming.
Yeah, well, it'd be great if it was. I'd love to bring Jim back to the screen, yeah.
Absolutely. I also think that the fan base would absolutely love to see that. And because, we've touched on it just a little bit, but the thing is, Brassic has such a loyal fan base for the show. Are there any kind of standout moments like of a fan interaction that you've had and that's kind of stuck with you?
It's all the time. Some are obsessive. It's like when we were shooting at the pub in town that's the Crow's Nest. There'd be people out there more or less, not camping out there, but if word got around we were going somewhere, that was it. There would be people there. You would stand there for hours in the cold and the wet and the rain, just for a photo with you or just to get you to sign something. It's really strange, but it is a loyalty of the fan base, and they liked me. And like I say, everyone was great with them. Joe, Michelle, everyone. It was good. It made people's days. Just to spend a little bit of time with them,
Yeah, definitely. So, and then looking a bit again at the kind of behind the scenes of the show, we will talk about things other than Brassic in a second. So who was kind of most likely to make you break character on set? I know you said that it was so professional, but was there anyone who kind of would?
The person who caught me on set was Aaron Heffernan.
Really?
Yeah. I'm pretty good about corpsing me. I'm all right. I like to think so anyway. But he knew it as well. So he played up with that. He would put big pauses in lines and he would make me laugh my head off during takes. And we'd have to go again and again. So Aaron gets the prize for me for that. Ash, he's brilliant. He's a brilliant lad. He's very funny. And sometimes his delivery and the more he knew, it made me laugh. The more he milked it, and it made me laugh more. So I kind of used to love but dread some scenes with Aaron in.
He knew.
He definitely knew. He was on to you. You had quite a vary of like ages on the show. So you had Jude, who's quite young, obviously.
Yeah.
What was it like working with such a young actor?
Great. Again, I think everyone treated Jude like an adult. I mean, obviously there was a chaperone there at all times.
Yeah.
But, he was just one of the gang. Obviously, there's some scenes he wasn't privy to because he wasn't, the character wouldn't be in there anyway. Mm-hmm. But, it was great. And you're right, this is from Jude, I think the oldest was probably me. So it is quite a wide age range, but, there wasn't this there with them and there with them and there with them. It was a nice mix.
Yeah.
I thought
Is there anyone who you will stay in touch with, or will you all stay in touch together?
Well, you say we do, and we do a bit, but not really. I mean, a lot of people live in London. Joe's a bit of a recluse. I've stayed in touch with Archie, and I do drop someone a line now and again, but a lot of people have moved on now and put it behind them.
Yeah, it's so hard, obviously, because everyone's so busy still with project and work. It's almost impossible to kind of stay in touch with everyone. And I think that a lot of people, when they watch a show, and all the actors have such, like with shows like Brassic, where it's such an ensemble performance, that everyone gets, well, obviously, the characters who are meant to get on, but the characters who aren't don't. I think that a lot of fan bases and people who watch TV shows can really want everyone to be such in such a tight-knit group, as they are in the show. But then you forget that actually not everyone is busy mates with their colleagues.
They probably didn't know each other before we all came together, I'll tell you, it was great. Ryan Sampson, who's
he's got
Mr.
He's got his own show, hasn't he?
Mr. Big Stuff.
And he's great. And to me, he was my favourite character was Tomo.
Yeah,
and it was an absolute pleasure to watch Ryan work because he just became Tomo as soon as we were rolling and he lit a cigarette up. He was Tomo. And there was an episode in the last series where we went to Germany. Well, Farmer Jim ended up going to Germany while Tomo was there, sort of crashing his holiday. And watching Ryan do them scenes all out, it was just a pleasure to watch him work.
Yeah.
And like I say, he's written his own show now and he's fantastic bloke.
I suppose was that more one-on-one because it was you were based together, you'd gate crashed his,
So it was the first time I'd really had any kind of scenes with Tomo, with Farmer Jim and Tomo, because they never really got on anyway in it. There was some snide comments from Tomo about Farmer Jim. So to throw them into a situation together where they had to work together, get out of it was very interesting.
I think it's brilliant to see, that even just watching the first episode, it's like just from that very first minute you switch it on and it's like, you believe it. And it's so hard to find like a cast like that who get on. And like I say, it's such an ensemble performance. It like the chemistry between the cast just feels so, very, very real. How do you think you guys went about kind of creating that? And did you have any or was it literally you just met and it was like, straight away you had that chemistry?
Well, I think that all happens in the casting process. Your agent will say they'll put you in for something because you might be in that age range or fit that brief. So then your agent sends it to the casting director. I think it was Fiona Weir who was the first casting director. So then she'll look at your CV and I think we did a self-tape for it, and then it was down to London. And when I went in the room, Joe was there, producer was there, and the casting director was there, and I'd learned 2 scenes. So they film that, and then they watch it, and then they'll watch the others, and they'll watch, and then they'll just see what you bring into that little part. And then it's your job as an actor, if you get cast in it, to make it work with whoever's playing the other character. And it's nothing personal.
How different was
down to the casting director, I think, reading people,
doing
their homework, and then going, well, they fit with them, they fit with them, they don't fit with them. And then we end up with these, and we'll see how they go, and we'll call them in, and then take it from there. It's quite a long process.
How different was it doing something like Brassic compared to Looking for Eric?
Well, Looking for Eric was a whole different story because of the way Ken Loach works.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're aware of his filming techniques, but Ken Loach doesn't let you see the script, so you don't know how the film's going to end.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah. And you don't, and he films in chronological order. It's very interesting what Ken Loach does. I went to a series of auditions for Looking for Eric, and I got a recall back 8 times. And every time it was improvisation. It was improvised with a person, then it was come back 2 weeks later and improvise with more people. And then he'd throw situations at you. He was always there, and he'd let you improvise it, and he'd watch everyone. And then in the middle of that, he'd whisper something to you, and he'd throw a curved ball in the improv and throw people off balance to see how you work, if you can stay in character, if you can stay on your feet, if you can think fast. And that went on and on and on. And then I knew I was going to be in Looking for Eric, but not as the lead member. I knew I was going to be one of the gang in that. So I was happy with that, to work with Ken Loach. And then I got told by my agent then that I had the lead role, and I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
But they never gave me a script. They never told me that Eric Cantona was in it. I knew I was a Mad United football fan. I knew that he was a Cantona freak because I'd done loads of homework on it, all the improv back. All the backstory was there, and then on day 1, we shot scene 1. And on day 2, we shot scene 2. I never got a call sheet. You weren't allowed to see one.
No.
And I would get scenes, but there'd be parts cut out of it. And there was a scene where Cantona wasn't in the film yet.
Mm-hmm.
And my character, Eric, little Eric, is in his room. He looks at the poster. He steals a joint. He has a joint. Pulls his collar up. He says something to the poster. We shot that 7 times, and Ken said, do it again, do it again. And I said, what am I doing wrong? And then he went, the lights are wrong. Go outside. Have a cigarette. I did. I went out. I come back. He said, we'll do one more. And he'd smuggled Eric Cantona into the room and hid him. And he said, we'll do one more scene. And I spoke to the poster, and a voice behind me said, well, have you? And it was Eric Cantona. And he called
my goodness.
That's how Ken Loach works.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the shock was unbelievable. And now I'm in a film with Eric Cantona, and I didn't know I was going to be. And there's a scene in Looking for Eric where the police raid the house. And again, me and Steph Bishop, who played Lily, the ex-wife, we were in the kitchen. It was a really lovely scene, which ended in getting a bit sad. And my character saying, would you like a coffee? Go, do it again. Go, do it again. Go, to 7 times again. Lulled you into this false sense of security. He said, we'll do it one more time. Would you like a coffee? Bang. The front door came off the hinges, and police ran in. And they were real police. They weren't extras.
Oh, my goodness.
It was an armed response police squad, and they run in shouting with guns, screaming to disorientate you, and it was really, truly scary.
Oh.
And the rest of the cast were in the front room still finishing the meal. They threw me to the floor, they handcuffed me, they got me out, it's all real. They threw me down the corridor to a catchment officer at the door. When I went outside, the road was taped off with police tape, and there was police cars. I was put in a police car, and I could see Lucy Joe, who played my daughter in it, coming out crying. Steph was crying. It was insanity. And then they drove us round the block and come back, and he got that scene.
Yeah, well, it sounds
traumatized. Traumatized.
It was a great big adventure. I loved every minute of it, and I I never knew when Cantona was going to appear. They never told me.
No, but I suppose you catch that genuine reaction.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's such a clever way of doing it.
I know actors have worked with him before, and some actors didn't like it. They've said, I'm an actor, I can act that.
Yeah.
To me, it was an adventure, and I'll never go through anything like that again, because it's just very rare to film consecutively these days, the scenes.
Yeah.
On day one, sometimes you're doing scene 37, or day 37, you're doing scene 1. So it's really nice to see it develop. And because I didn't know the ending of it, it was a real journey for me as an actor.
Has the character of Jim taught you anything about comedic acting or just acting in general for future projects to take on board with you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you learn something from every job there, definitely. It's helped with, I think, timing, and the silences are great sometimes. Just them little beats are very important. It's something you learn as you go along. I mean, I don't know if it's made me any better at it, but I've got a lot of good stuff out of Jim, and some of the scenes are really good, and they make people laugh, so my job's done.
Yeah.
I do look at some things, I think maybe I could have done that better or delivered that line better. But you can't beat yourself up over these things. That's what too many actors do. If it's done, you've got to live with it, So you've got to do it to the best of your ability. And 9 times out of 10, I am happy with it. If the director's happy and it works, then it must be doing something right.
Well, exactly. And 99% of the time, your harshest critic is yourself. And a lot of the things that you look back on and think, I could have done that better, honestly, the audience, obviously, you've been told this a million times, won't even cross their mind.
You can't dwell on things like that.
No, exactly.
So, Ray, basically, just remember for future projects, please the director, okay?
Yes.
Is there anything coming up in the pipeline for you that you want to promote? Is there anything going on?
Oh, I have got something going on, but I don't want to talk about it because I don't like doing that. If it's not done yet, it's not done yet. So that's that.
He's having a break. Leave the man alone. If you see him,
yeah. There's stuff going on.
Yeah. Lips are sealed. Stay
that's
clear.
Right. It's not done till it's done, really.
Yes.
I mean, I've been in stuff and been cut out of it, and it's still on my CV. I've tried to get it off my CV. I've done years ago. I've done a scene in something, and I'm not in it. It got cut out either because time restraints or I was shit at it. So, who knows?
Not likely. Not likely.
Oh, you never know. I like to think because of time and it wasn't, necessary to the edit.
Yeah, just some things. Yeah, absolutely.
It's not meant to be.
It wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, sometimes you've got only an hour. You've got only an hour for a program, and you've got to start killing your babies, as they call it, slaughtering. You've got to take things out that you can't put everything in, otherwise it'd be an hour and a half long.
Yeah.
Start chopping. So a character who answers the door and delivers a few sentences is probably not worth keeping if it doesn't further the plot.
Yeah, that's how I feel about Jess.
Rude.
No, joking. Right. So, we are. Oh goodness me, sorry. So, we are coming to the end of the episode today, unfortunately. Steve, is there any social media that you'd like that the guests, the audience, people watching can find you at?
Well, you can find me on Instagram. You can find me on TikTok. I'm on Twitter, but I don't really go on there much anymore.
No.
I think it's lost a lot of its sense of humour. And it's just people shouting at each other.
Yeah.
It's funny, Twitter, and I used to do a lot on there. I go on now and I have a look, but I don't partake that much anymore. It's just too much arguing. Instagram, like, and TikTok, I like how you post, you don't get into conversations over pointless arguments with people. Same with Instagram. But
see, Instagram's funny because we message a lot of people on Instagram, and sometimes they've got their emails attached like we do, and you sometimes don't get a reply, or sometimes you do and it takes weeks or months to encourage someone to film with us. Like for this series, we've got quite a lot of people in the pipeline like yourself, and it just takes a little while. But when you message someone on their social media platform, you never know if you're speaking to them or their agent. So when I was speaking to you, it was kind of like, oh my God, I'm actually speaking to Steve. Like, I'm actually speaking to the man himself. And it's very surreal. Do you ever think to yourself, like, oh, I'm actually famous?
no, I don't. No, I don't. I really don't. I go in normal pubs, and like I say, there's not a day goes by I don't get recognised, and it is getting harder and harder for us to go anywhere, particularly since Brassic. But that's it. I'm not changing my life just because people come up to me in pubs all the time. They want a photo. They want me to do a little video calling them mates at a certain word or whatever. So I have to learn to live with that. But there's different types of people. We've encountered them all. There's the people who come up, they want a quick photo, they take the photo and they go. There's the people who come up and sit next to you and just stare at the side of your head and don't say anything for 5 minutes. And there's the people who come up, sit next to you and interrupt you and say, so how did you get into acting? And you won't leave. You get the people who come up to you and tap you on the shoulder and say, I don't even know who you are. I'm not bothered about anything you've been in.
Oh my God.
And we had a situation in a pub. It was a nightmare. We had to run out. There was some girls going, it's about Brassic,
Oh my gosh.
my girlfriend, and there was these blokes behind them. We were hemmed in a corner. I don't get hemmed in corners anymore. There was loads of blokes saying, call me mate, call me mate, and there was this woman leaning over Jen saying, I don't even know who you are. I don't even know who you are. I don't care what. So we had it from 3 angles.
Yeah.
And we had to run out of there. We had to literally run out of there with people shouting after us.
People are crazy, aren't they? Just leave the man alone to have his pie.
Learned so much about people in the last few years and how mad it all is and different variations of but it goes with the territory in a certain way. I like to go in a pub and have a pint. I'm not going to become a recluse. I'll make it out, mate.
You post you post stuff about your family as well. Do they get stopped or anything like that?
Yeah. I try and not post too much about them really because, again, people they want to get involved too much, And people start asking where you are, and they want to come. So you have to post stuff later.
Yeah.
Post stuff live, or the people find out where you are and come. I like going on Berry Market. I like Berry Market.
Yeah.
I do a lot on there. And
I see you post quite a lot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all great. They've all got a sense of humour, and we have a laugh on there. So yeah, you just got to take it to a certain extent.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just let the man have his pie and pint in peace, okay?
Yeah. So thank you so much, Steve, for joining us today. It has been such a fabulous episode, and we have started series 2 with an absolute bang. So if you are new here, do not forget to like the video, subscribe. If you're listening on Spotify, you can follow us. You can follow us on Instagram and TikTok. You can find us all over the place. So that has been Close Enough with Steve Evets. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you all. Bye.
So much. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.